Yo, what's going on, everybody? Look, this is an impromptu live stream. I just kind of decided to do this off of a whim. So if you happen to tune in to this live stream, thank you. And feel free to comment because I will interact with the comments. And but this is mainly for those who may watch on the replay because I didn't announce I was going to go live. Like I said, it's impromptu. But I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time. I've been wanting to display this on the channel for a minute, and so here we are. And I was like, well, I was gonna wait till Saturday to do it, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and wait. I'm gonna use Saturday for like I normally do it for, and just chopping it up and let this be the video I'm gonna use for talking about these stats. And so as the title suggests, these are dealing with stats for police racial or race targeting. Is the evidence true for the stats that's reported in the United States, across the United States, that police officers are targeting black people? I was even having a conversation with my family over the weekend, and they was bringing up that it seems like it's open season for black people when it comes to police. It's like it's open season. Somebody done told these police officers that, hey, you are welcome to attack the black race. Do it. Have fun. And so, we're in November. I could pull up 2019, but I want to look at last year's stats because that's already set. We still got December to go through. And so let's look at 2018. We'll pull up the stats. And just to give you a heads up, we're going to look at some stats from the Washington Post. The Washington Post is, by what you can say by standards, a liberal site. So they're not conservative, so they actually are trying to show that police officers are brutal. That's what they want to display. So these numbers are not there to protect police officers. They're actually there to make you cringe at police officers and their killings. But we're going to look at the stats that they display. And these are actual stats, that display from actual incidences that's happened in the United States from 2018. All right, so I've been wanting to display this for the longest. I think around 2017, actually. No, 2017 stats I wanted to show last year, but I never got around to doing it. So here we are. So I don't want to let it go too far without me actually doing that on the show. So thank you once again for those who do happen to tune in. You're welcome to comment if you're here. If not, then hey, check it on the replay and leave your comments. Let me know your thoughts below in the comments concerning these stats. Do you think they're convoluted? You think they're misleading, and so on and so forth? Just throw it out there. All right. But I'm going to give you a spoiler alert that I want to show you that the narrative that's been given to us concerning police officers and killing African Americans isn't what they make it seem. It isn't what they make it seem in the media, in the news articles and all that stuff. Like they're just getting at black people. That isn't the case. All right. So anyway, let's look at this. And I mean by that across the whole, I'm gonna leave room for the possibility and the reality that there could be some racist police officers who are looking to hem a black person up. It could be. But the stats, the numbers don't show that it's an epidemic. The stats and the numbers don't show that it's a systemic problem. All right. So that's what I hope to display to you guys tonight. All right. So let's jump to this. I've already Googled in my search police killings in 2018. As you see, the very first one that shows up is 2018 police shootings database, Washington Post. That's what we're going to be looking at today. All right. So it's going to put up the Washington Post. Now, what I like about this, in 2018, fatal force, 992 people were killed by police in 2018. Now, that may look like a high number to you as far as saying like, man, these are people that were killed by police. But keep in mind, these are combined of stats dealing with justified shootings and maybe some questionable ones. I'm just giving it out there. Like this is a combination of all those. So it ain't like there's 992 innocent people who are getting shot by police officers. All right. These are people who may have drawn on police officers and were killed and so on and so forth. So fatal force. All right. 992 were killed by police officers. Now, what I like about this site, as liberal as it is, what I like about it is that you see all these little boxes here. All these boxes are individual cases of people who were shot. If you was to count all those up, that's going to equal to 992 people. All these boxes. All right. That's what I like about this. And what I also like about it is it lets you filter out different things. You can filter out gender, race, age, whether they had mental illness, did they have a weapon, was there a body camera present, fleeing the scene and how they fled the scene. And I like that, you know. And so before we go into filtering things, remember, this is what we want to display tonight. This is what I want to show. Is it an epidemic that African Americans are being targeted by police officers? All right. Was this the case last year? We had some police shootings last year, right? Did we not? So is it true that African Americans were being targeted by police officers as far as being shot and killed and everything else? Is that the case? All right. That's what I hope to deal with tonight. All right. So keep that in mind. So we're gonna do some filtering here. We're gonna keep it in all the states. We're gonna say across the country. We're not gonna filter out any states, and we're gonna use white and black. Now, I want you to see something real quick. I hope you can see this. Matter of fact, man, I don't know if you can see that pop up right there. But for the sake that you may not be able to see that pop up, I'm gonna read it. That's very interesting. With race in 2018. 452 whites were killed by police officers. 452. Of blacks, 229. That's how many blacks were killed last year. Now, this is once again a mixture of justified shootings and maybe some questionable ones. I say maybe questionable ones because you can have room to speculate, you know. So I'm not gonna say all of them were. We don't know. I don't know. I haven't read all these articles. What I do know is that there are a mixture of justified ones and questionable ones. And we see there are 452 whites who were killed by police officers. That may be men and women. Blacks, 229. That could be men or women, you know, men and women or teenagers. It could be all of that. Same thing with whites. It could be all that. We haven't filtered out ages yet. But look at the number. That's like, so you got 229. Let's see here. That's not quite. That's almost double as far as whites. Now there are people who are going to make an argument, say, well, you know, there are more whites than blacks in the country, so the percentage is higher. Like, yo, numbers matter. Individual numbers do matter. All right. And blacks are having babies out the woodwork. Have you noticed how many people are having babies? Blacks, you know, who are being saved at abortion clinics and so on and so forth. Yeah. So the numbers are still rising. You know, blacks are becoming more and more less than a minority than we used to be. So like that argument to me is kind of dumb. And so not even gonna go off of that. 452, 229. That's a big number, you know, across from each other. Then the Hispanics, you had out of 992. So out of that we had 164 Hispanics, and of other 40, and where there's unknown 107. All right. So that's a number. But now we want to filter blacks. All right. So what I like about this, now you see all these boxes, right? All these boxes. When I filter race and I just click on blacks, how many blacks were shot by police officers? All those drop off. Look at that. Look at that. Pow, 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 pow. So now, look at this number. Look at all these boxes. Now this is, once again, people keep in mind, this is not all unjustified. This is like justified killings as well. You know, fatal force that was used because somebody was robbing a store at gunpoint, whatever the case may be. All that kind of stuff is included in this. All right. And so you got this little block, this block here, and all of that. All of that. And still the majority will be whites. All right, so that's black. All right. So let's say now out of all these, 219 were men and only 10 females, only 10 women. You know what I'm saying? When I say only, I'm not saying, look, keep in mind, guys, let's be honest here and let's be real here. Don't nobody twist this and make it seem like I'm making it seem like one life isn't enough. Like, we all know the sanctity of human life. We should know that, especially if we're Christians. We should know the sanctity of human life. The point of this, and I'm gonna say it again, I probably end up beating a dead horse this whole time, because somebody, some genius is gonna listen to this and say, "Oh, you just making it seem like none of them lives didn't matter and everything." No. The point is the narrative true that blacks are being targeted concerning police killings, police brutality, fatal force? Are blacks being targeted? Is it an epidemic? Are we being targeted, being wiped out, and all that kind of stuff? All right. So now, out of this, only 10 women. So we're going to go ahead and filter out the women, because it's always being said our black men are being killed, our black men. So we want to filter out the women. Take the women out. Oh, I meant to take the women out. I put the women in. All right. So take away those 10. Boom, boom. All those 10 out. Taking them out. All right. So that's what we left. 219. All right. 22%. All right. 22% out of the whole year. 22%. Now we're gonna look at we're gonna keep age there. We're gonna leave age alone. Because out of under 18 was 6 people. I want to look at those 6. I want to look at those 6, especially towards the end of this. There's 6 under 18 that we're going to look at. But there's only 6. We're going to look at no mental illness, because we know mental illness can play a factor. So we're going to say no mental illness. All right. And we're going to look at unarmed, because it's always a case of being unarmed men. All right. Look how the numbers keep going down. 19%. Let's look at unarmed. All right. They didn't have anything on them. 13 people. Wow. 992 individuals. The whole year. Only 13 was killed, and they were unarmed. Unarmed black men. All right. Were there a body camera present? We have one that says yes. We have yes and no. So let's do no body cam. Let's leave room for speculation. No body cam, so we can say speculation there. No body cam present. We're going to leave that no. All right. That drops off for a couple. 9 people. 9 people. Fleeing the scene. Let's look at, they didn't flee the scene. You know what I'm saying? Because, sometimes you can flee the scene and police officers shooting at a car. Ricochet and hit. That was an incident. Matter of fact, that was an incident that happened last year, I believe, or it was this year, where the car was speeding off. Police officers shooting at the car, ended up killing the man, fleeing the scene, and shooting at the vehicle. So that can happen, right? Let's leave room for that. Let's say they wasn't fleeing. They weren't fleeing. They didn't have a weapon. There was no body camera present, and they end up dying. What is the number? Whoa, 3 people, folks. 3. Now, they still don't know the actual instance of what happened or what took place, what was reported concerning these things. But this is why I say it could be questionable. Why? There's no body cam present. They weren't fleeing, as it reported. It wasn't fleeing, and they didn't have no mental illness. So it's based off the report. This is what was reported, what happened. All right. But 3 people. 3. 992 individuals. Only 3 black men. 3 black men. 3 black men. All right. That's interesting. I want to take gender out of here real quick. So I took gender out, and we're still at 3 people. So that means no black women were killed that were unarmed, with no mental illness, no body cam present, and not fleeing. So only 3 men, 3 black men. And let's see. We didn't do age. And all 3 of these individuals were 18 years old to 29. 18 and 29. That's the age. Now, that's why I really do want to look at that instance where they have those six people under 18, because that means one of these filters don't fit for that, because no mental illness, unarmed, no body cam recording, not fleeing. To have all that, and when we have 3 people ages 18 to 29, that is interesting, guys. That is some interesting stuff. Yo, I know you may You may have your hangups and stuff like this, but guys, you can't look at the numbers, and you can't look at these numbers and then say that police officers are racially profiling, racially targeting black men to kill them. To kill them. Can't say that. Not by the numbers don't prove it. And this is a site that wants to have you against police officers, not for them, against. All right, the numbers don't lie here. All right, so let's look at this further. Now, what I will hope to do now is look at these three last individuals, and just take a brief look at their report, the case, see what happened. Only thing that's going to be reported here. And Washington Post, they usually post sources from different websites and whatnot concerning these individuals. So scroll down to the bottom here. And we have Charles Roundtree, an unarmed 18-year-old black man, was shot on October 17, 2018 in a house in San Antonio, Texas. All right. So shot in this house. And you can click on these links to pull up the website, to pull up the report. So we're going to click on one. Let me see, open this in a new tab. See, he's 18. All right. So not judging by the look of the person. We're not going to judge by any of that. You know how sometimes they post pictures to try to make you think some kind of way about the individual. So we're not going to do that. I don't want no pop-ups. I don't want that. It says unarmed 18-year-old killed when San Antonio police shoot Gray's suspect. All right. I remember reading this. Matter of fact, I remember looking at this, and we're going to read through it. I'm going to read it real quick because this was interesting how this happened. This was actually an accident, but it was meant for someone else. Let me read this. All right. So the 18-year-old shot and killed by San Antonio police early Wednesday on the west side was unarmed and was struck by a bullet fired at another occupant of the home, officials said. So the way the media just dressed this up to make you think that the police officers intentionally meant to shoot this kid. They meant to kill this 18-year-old Charles Roundtree. But that wasn't the case. Someone else was the target. It missed him. It grazed him, ended up killing him. He was a byproduct of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's what the issue here. Charles Roundtree died inside a home in the 200 block of Robert Street after police responded to a call for an assault around 1:25 a.m., said San Antonio Police Chief William McManus. McManus initially said the officer spotted a weapon in a person's waistband and later wound up using deadly force on that individual. Wednesday afternoon, he revised that to say the officer fired at a 24-year-old who was reaching for a gun in his waistband. The bullet went through that person who has not been identified and struck Roundtree. The suspect, who was still recovering in the hospital Wednesday, is someone with an extensive record with police, McManus said. Officers recovered the pistol the suspect had and also found drugs in the home. All right. So what you have here is police response to an assault. Sorry about that, guys. The commercial started playing. All right. So what you have here is you have police responding to an assault, right? Responding to an assault. And when they respond to the assault, there's a 24-year-old there, and there's an 18-year-old there. The 18-year-old is Charles Roberts. I think I pronounced his name wrong already. Charles Roundtree, and the other one, they haven't identified his name. But he's 24 years old with a gun on him. All right. Now, you remember, we have an unarmed suspect. The way we did the filter was unarmed, black, no body cam present. So we're going off the report of the officers. No body cam present. And what else? No mental illness. And what else we went off of here? Not fleeing. So he didn't flee. He was there. He was there. With his partner, whoever he was to him, he was there. He had no mental illness. He was unarmed, no body cam. So he didn't have a gun. The 24-year-old had the gun. The police officers wasn't there to get Roundtree. They was there for the 24-year-old. They shot at the 24-year-old. They didn't shoot at Roundtree. They shot at the 24-year-old suspect, who did get shot, but the bullet went in and out and then hit the 18-year-old. Unfortunately, it was him being in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know what I'm saying? It was the instant. They saw him reaching for a gun. They had to shoot. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, and they recovered the pistol and said it had drugs. Now, this is, you can speculate. You can say, you know, oh, that didn't really happen, A, B, and C. You can speculate all you want to. You know, that's up to you. But this is the instance that happened with this case. Charles Roundtree was not the intended target, yet he's counted in this number because he fits. His number fits, even though he wasn't the target. Even though the fatal force wasn't towards him, he's still counted in this number. So in my opinion, this wasn't someone who was meant to be shot by police officers. So I'm like, okay, well, this doesn't really count. I mean, it's only 2. Now, that's just me. Now, you want to get still counted, that's fine. But we're talking about using fatal force. That means that police officers intended to kill this individual. They intended to shoot at the 24-year-old, but he lived. He lived. And honestly, police officers didn't keep shooting. They shot, and that was it. The 24-year-old was still living. All right, he didn't pass away. He was injured. So if they kept shooting, they probably would have kept shooting to hit their intended target. Then there'd have been 2 black men on here, one of them armed, but it wasn't the case. All right. So that's just an interesting thing to keep in mind. Just look at. Let's look at the next one. James Leatherwood, an unarmed 23-year-old black man, was shot on September 5th, 2018 in a house in Hollywood, Florida. All right. So we got a couple sites. A couple of sites on that. Let's pull up one. All right, so this was he was the intended suspect. All right. Suspect in Miami. Well, wait a minute. All these advertisements, man, I tell you the truth. Suspect in Miami murder shot dead as police serve arrest warrant in Hollywood. I think I remember reading this one too. But as we did the last one, we'll read through this together. I tell you, so many ads. All right. A suspect in a Miami murder case was shot and killed in Hollywood Wednesday as police officers from both cities were serving a warrant, authorities said. James Leatherwood, 23, a Hollywood resident, was the man who died Wednesday morning. The fatal shooting unfolded about 9 a.m. in a residential neighborhood near Flagler Street and South 57th Avenue, Hollywood, police spokeswoman Miranda Grossman said. They're trying to get me to close these sites out. They don't want me to show this stuff. So we'll continue reading. During the service of the search warrant, shots were fired, Grossman said. Leatherwood died at Memorial Regional Hospital. So shot at the residence, died at the hospital. The bullets fired at Leatherwood were not from a Miami police officer's gun, Miami police officer Kiara Delva said. Miami detectives are investigating the August 23rd homicide of Natreva M. White, 27. I probably butchered that name. She's 27, who was shot in a neighborhood near Northwest 16th Avenue and Northwest 42nd Street and died at Jackson Memorial Hospital. All right. Delva would not discuss any alleged role Leatherwood may have had in White's killing. The case brought, and the person shown here is supposed to be Mr. White. I'm going to say Mr. White. I can't pronounce his first name. So this is the 27-year-old who was killed. All right. But they think Leatherwood had a part in this killing. So he was a suspect. He wasn't convicted, but he was a suspect. And they were serving a search warrant to his home and shots were fired. That's how the report goes. All right. So it says Delva would not discuss any alleged role Leatherwood may have had in White's killing. The case brought Miami officers to Broward County where Hollywood officers assisted them, she said. And I guess you can click on further reading and stuff like that. So that's that. All right. So you have I'm still waiting. No, I'm not going to exit the pages. Trying to get me to close out this stuff. No. All right, so you have a situation here where this was an actual suspect. And as the report goes, once again, no body cam present, so we're going to have to report the police officers and those who were present. You have an instance where you have a suspect in another killing, and they're coming to his place of residence with a search warrant. Shots are fired. He gets shot. He gets sent to the hospital, and he dies at the hospital. That's what happened there. All right. Now, the reason why I'm questioning this one, and I say it's questionable, because look at what we have here. We filtered out unarmed, but yet they said that he had shots fired. That's why I say some of these are justified and some of them may be questionable. I question that one. So I'm being fair with you guys. Like, that seems questionable to me. You know what I'm saying? Like they say they report him as being unarmed, but then in the report says that there were shots fired and police officers shot at him. You know, which is just serving a search warrant. Why is he considered to be unarmed if he had a gun and was shooting? You know, but then they say the shots then the report says the shot that killed him, that the report says the shot that killed him did not come from a Miami Police Department. So there was two different police officers, two different police departments serving that warrant or going to that scene, but it's saying it wasn't Miami that shot the bullet. So, I mean, speculate all day. I mean, to me, that's just questionable. That's just questionable to me, you know. Did he may have killed White? Maybe he been part of that other murder? Could be. We don't know. He's dead. You see what I'm saying? It's questionable, you know. So that's one that's questionable, right? I give that to you, because my point was not to show that all three instances would be justified. It's just so to look at them like we're taking them case by case basis, and this is how we should deal with things. Where there should be questions, we need to be raising them, and where these instances are justified, we need to be, hey, it is what it is. It happens. This will happen when people break the law, and just unfortunately, like with Roundtree, he was in the wrong place, hanging with the wrong people. You know what I'm saying? It just happened to get shot. You know, he just happened to get shot and killed just by being there with the person who actually done the crime. You know, and that's just unfortunate. But that wasn't the intent of the officers to kill him. You know, and that's that. So, yeah, so that to me, that one is questionable. James Leatherwood's case is a little questionable to me. Now, the last one here is Cameron Hall. An unarmed 27-year-old black man was shot with a stun gun and shot on March 15, 2018 in a house in Casa Grande, Arizona. Now, this right here, I mean, on the surface, now we're going to read this. I looked at this one before too. This right here, like on the surface, it's like, whoa, he was shocked. He was tased and shot. Like, man, what kind of stuff is this? Like y'all don't think because I don't agree with the narrative that I don't find instances like this and be like, whoa, man, this don't sound right. Don't get confused. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're all for justice, but it's where it's warranted. That's the point. Where it is warranted, where there's proof that it's warranted. All right. Keep in mind, no body cam present. This is off of the report of the officers. All right. So we're going to pull up this website. Pull up this site. Let me close this down so I won't get more pop-ups about exiting pages. Hopefully I won't. All right, so this one says, Casa Grande police involved in deadly shooting overnight. Officer assaulted, but not seriously hurt. So we have an officer assaulted, an officer who wasn't assaulted. Now, you don't see this in the Washington Post. What I say, the Washington Post is not trying to defend police officers. It's trying to get you to not like them. Look how it's, because it didn't say nothing about an officer who was attacked. It just says he was an unarmed 27-year-old black man, was shocked with a stun gun and shot. You know, that's it. You don't see that there was a police officer who was assaulted. We don't see that in their reporting here, but at least they do post the source so you can check it out yourself. All right, officer assaulted but not seriously hurt. Let's check this out. Casa Grande police say, now this is once again reported from officers. Casa Grande police say a suspect was shot and killed after he assaulted an officer during a domestic disturbance call overnight. According to police, officers were dispatched to a home near Port and McCartney Roads around 10 p.m. Thursday. A 27-year-old Casa Grande man identified as Cameron Hall confronted and assaulted an officer at the scene. The officer tried to defend himself. The officer tried to defend himself by using a taser on Hall, but it was ineffective. So Washington Post didn't say that. They didn't say it was tased, but it basically like didn't help. It's just fact that it was tased and shot. So it's like you look at the surface of it, just how it was written. You look at the surface and you're automatically like, man, what wicked officers would tase a man and then shoot him. But you look at the news article and it's different. It's different. There was an officer who was attacked first. This wasn't the case where he was tased first. The officer was attacked first and then shot at him with a taser. Then it was ineffective. Whether he may have shot it wrong, maybe the dude was just cocked diesel strong, I don't know. But it said the officer tried to defend himself by using a taser. So he didn't even use his gun first. He used a taser, but it was ineffective. Police say Hall repeatedly struck the officer, and the officer ended up firing his service weapon, hitting the suspect. That's what happened. First aid was immediately provided until after he was attacked. He was assaulted, used a taser. The taser was ineffective. He was getting his butt handed to him, and he used his service weapon. And then after he shot him, he began to use first aid immediately. This is the report. First aid was immediately provided until emergency crews arrived. Hall was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The officer, Stephen Nauber, I think I pronounced that right, a 10-year veteran with the department, was not significantly injured during this incident. He has been placed on administrative duty per normal policy. The Arizona Department of Public Safety is handling the investigation. So that's all you hear on that. I mean, that's interesting. That's interesting. I mean, on the surface of it, it looks like, man, what kind of mess is that? Why would you tase a man and then shoot him? But that wasn't the case. It wasn't how it played out. So that one, I think, is justified. I think it's justified. He was unarmed. The report does show that he was unarmed. It doesn't say he had a gun on him. It said he was using them hands. He was attacking the officer. He was throwing them paws, if you will. And the officer was defending himself. Use a taser first. And obviously, if you do an autopsy, you can see he was shocked first. Tased first. Tased. That didn't help. He was still getting the paws handed to him. And then he used his service weapon. He had to do what he had to do. That's what the officers are trained to do. And dude was unarmed. He still got shot. You know what I'm saying? So it's not all the time where there was an unarmed black man that is unjust. He was just. He was breaking the law. He was not innocent. He wasn't innocent. He was breaking the law. Furthermore, you know what I'm saying? So that's interesting, guys. Interesting. Now we got one. There was an accident. Now three people in 2018. 3 black men who were killed by police officers. No mental illness, unarmed, no body cam, not fleeing, ages 18 and 29, 3 black men. Out of 3 black men, 1 was an accident. That means they wasn't intending to shoot him. He wasn't the intended target. 1 is questionable. Like, say he was unarmed, he was shooting, they said they shot, and they had a shot, they had to shoot, and he was killed. Questionable. The other one, justified. Out of all 3 of those, only 1 was questionable. Only 1 of those cases that I would look at and like, man, you know what? I don't think we're getting the whole story. Somebody's not telling us everything. Now, that 1 is enough for us to raise questions. That 1 is enough for us to say, hey, what really happened? Somebody needs to know what really happened. Some investigation needs to continue with that case. Because even if the man was a suspect, he had a right to a trial. He had a right to a trial. You know what I'm saying? So unless he truly was firing, then why is he put in the unarmed category? That's my thing. If maybe he's put in the wrong category. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe it was a clerical error on the Washington Post side. Maybe he should have been put in the armed area, but he's put in the unarmed area. Or the report was filed incorrectly. You see what I'm saying? All these things can be said. So you're given room to speculate. You see what I'm saying? But out of those 3, only 1 is questionable. The other 2, 1's an accident and 1 was justified. That's what you have. But is it the majority? Now, real quick. So I want to take out black. Take out the age. All right, so we got 17, right? So we took out black, we took out the age. So unknown, no mental illness, unarmed, nobody can recording, not fleeing. Let's look at white. White people. Remember, we only had 3 black men, but there's 11. Oh, I'm sorry, 11 white people, and only, let's see, 1 female. So take out, yeah, let's go men. Take out that 1 female. Knock Corona up out of there. 10. Let's see where we are. There we go. All right, 10 people, 10 white men or white people shot and killed by police officers who were unarmed, no body cam recording, not fleeing. We had 3 when we did black, but here with the whites, there's 10. 10. That's more. That's last year. That's more than the blacks. No, I'm not saying, hey, I'm for white people. What I'm saying is, these are the numbers. These are the numbers. Now, just like we did blacks, look at the age. Under 18, there's only 1. 18 to 29, there's 2. 30 to 44 is 5, and 45 and up 2. So I mean, that was it. Now in the blacks one, we had the 3, only the 3. Then it was all between ages 18 to 29. All right, but see, all of these here for whites is only 1 of them that's under 18. Only 1. The rest of them is 18 and up. All right, 18 and up. Let's see here. An unarmed 52-year-old white man was shot on November 11th. Got an unarmed 34-year-old man was shot. An unarmed 36-year-old white man was shot. I'm trying to see where the young one was at. An unarmed 20-year-old white man was shot. An unarmed 42-year-old man. An unarmed 59-year-old white man. An unarmed 40-year-old white man. An unarmed 37-year-old white man. An unarmed 16-year-old white male was shot. I want to look at this one. Why was this young white male was shot? Because I want to pull up the 6 black ones, but I want to pull up this young one. Why was this 16-year-old shot? Franklin County deputy who fatally shot teen had never been in a fight alone, his file shows. All right. So we have until a deputy fatally shot a 16-year-old in the 5th floor of the Franklin County Courthouse earlier this month, he had never been involved in a fight alone while on duty for the sheriff's office, a review of records showed. Deputy Richard Scarborough, 43, fought 16-year-old Joseph Haynes, who was in juvenile court on 2 delinquency gun-related charges, as well as his mother, 41-year-old Karen Haynes. The scuffle in a courthouse hallway on January 17th escalated and resulted in Scarborough shooting Haynes once in the abdomen. Haynes died about an hour later at Ohio Health Grant Medical Center. Wow. I mean, 16-year-old trying to wet off on a police officer in a courthouse and was shot in the belly, shot in the stomach. Officer said he'd never been in a fight alone while on duty, so I guess he was kind of scared, afraid, and he defended himself. He shot. That's sad, but it happened. Justified. You know, like he's young, 16-year-old, 16, fighting an officer, man. That's what happened. That was a white teenager, 16-year-old. So it ain't just young black men who's getting shot and killed by police officers. White teenagers are too. But this one, he was fighting. And y'all see people be posting saying, man, these white boys, they be doing all this stuff and nobody be doing anything to them, and white kids do it. Yeah, that's proof that some of them do. Some of them do get shot and killed for wilding off at a police officer. We had a 27-year-old white man was shot with a stun gun and shot. Same instance with the last we saw with the blacks. Except this one was a 27-year-old white man was shot and shot. So that's that. So real quick, last one I'm gonna look at before I'm through. And we're gonna go back to looking at our black men. And three, where were we at? Where was that? Was okay. That was like okay. That was. I'm trying to think. Where was the number for the 6 that was under 18? So I wonder if it was to take out not fleeing. Okay, so not fleeing. We took out not fleeing. No body cam present. It's unarmed. No body cam present. Male, black, and under 18. There's only one. Only one. Cause I don't want to do it in a weapon. Let's see. Let's take out no body cam. Let's see if that changes. No, still only one. So let's look at that one. So no mental illness, unarmed, male, black, under 18. Let me take out male to see if there's maybe a female under 18. And no. So it's just one male under 18 was shot and killed by police officers. An unarmed 17-year-old black male was shot on June 19, 2018 in Pennsylvania. So let's pull this up. This will be the last one I look at, guys. Yo, Ivan, what's up, man? Is that Dennis? What's up? What's going on, everybody? Sorry, I'm just not getting to your comments. I'm just now getting over to look at them. All right, so we have a federal lawsuit filed by Antoine Rose's family. All right, Antoine Rose's family. I'm not gonna play the video. Let's see here. We got the family of. Oh, that was an update. Okay, they filed a lawsuit. So Tuesday, July 24th, as an Eastboro police officer charged with shooting and killing has waived his preliminary hearing. Michael Rossfield is charged with criminal homicide. So you have so the officer was charged. Let's go down to the beginning of this. Okay, this has like a lot of updates to it. There was a protest. Huh. Okay, night of shooting. All right, here we are. I mean, that was a lot of updates for that one. So let's look at this. And then obviously it looks like the officer was charged. So let's read it. Antoine Rose, 17, was shot and killed by East Pittsburgh police officer Michael Rossfield as he ran from a traffic stop on the night of June 19th, authorities said. I wonder if I read about this in the news or hear about this in the news. It ran from a traffic stop. Rossfield stopped the vehicle Rose was in because it matched the description of a vehicle seen near a shooting that occurred shortly before 8:30 p.m. So that same day, so the vehicle matched the description on Kirkpatrick Avenue in North Braddock. Yeah, Braddock, according to that name, county police. The vehicle, which police said had damage from bullets to the back window, was stopped near Grandview Avenue and Howard Street in East Pittsburgh. As Rosefield was handcuffing the driver, Rose and another passenger, 17-year-old Jawan Hester, ran from the car, police said. So he stopped. So they got the officer stopping the vehicle, handcuffing the driver, and the other two take off. All right, so it says, County District Attorney Stephen Zapala said Rose showed his hands as he turned and ran. He was not in possession of a gun, nor was Hester. Rosefield shot Rose 3 times, including in the face and back, Zapala said. Rose was taken to the McKesper Hospital where he was pronounced dead. 2 guns were found in the vehicle when police searched it, officer said. The victim in the North Braddock shooting, a 22-year-old man, was treated for his injuries and released from the area trauma center. Wow, that's sad. That's sad. Yeah, that was definitely that was to me. I think that was unjustified. Wow, he made that young man was in a he probably was in the wrong place. He was probably a part of that robbery. Could have been, what I'm saying, it wasn't what did it say, it was a response to a what we were responding to mass description of a vehicle seen near a shooting. So there was a shooting that already occurred. He probably was a part of that shooting. They said the vehicle had bullet holes in it in the back window, so people obviously were shooting at the vehicle. So it probably was involved in a shooting. There were guns in the car, but he got out the car and ran, took off running, didn't want to go to jail, took off running. It's like stuff we always say, like, why you do that? Why take off running? Why? You're already caught. He took off running. He ran with his hands in the air. The police officer shot him 3 times. So rather chase him down, the other guy was already handcuffed. Rather than chase him down, he shot him 3 times. But then the part that gets me is the shot in the face. How do you shoot him in the face if he's running away from you? Running away from you with his hands in the air. I can understand it being shot in the back. Not saying I would prefer that. I'm just saying, that seems to me like he's running away, you shoot him in the back. You're shooting to stop him. But then you shoot him in the face. Why? Then what happened with the other one that ran off, So yeah, that one to me, yeah. But it say that the officer was charged in this one. He was charged and faced criminal charges. So I think that was justice served there. That was justice served. So yeah, that was actually sad to read. It's really sad to read. And it's 17-year-olds involved in crime and all this stuff, all this hustling stuff, gangster activity and all that stuff for no reason. For no reason, man. You're still fearful of jail, fearful to go to jail, and it costing his life, losing his life where he could have been at home. Just could have been better for him to just be at home playing an Xbox or something, Hey, that's sad. That was depressing. That's wow. Saints edifies. I'm here too, my bro. That's what's up, man. Thank you for coming on, man. But yeah, that's, man, that was sad. I can't say that enough. That was really sad to read. Antoine Rose. All right, so out of 9, so this is good. Let's go back. Let's do the overview. I'm gonna get my mind off of that. That was sad. That was tragic to hear 7-year-old losing their life like that, man. All right, so you got 992 people total for the year of 2018 who were shot and killed by police officers. All right. Once again, this was a mixture of justified, questionable, and even some accidental shootings. A mixture of them. When it came to black people, and I'm gonna show this number once again for those who may have forgotten what they saw in the last 10 minutes. Unarmed black men not fleeing the scene. Nobody's fleeing. No body camera present. Or nowhere unknown. There's they don't either nobody cam or they don't know. So no body cam present. And they're men. All 3 of these are men. And the age 18 and 29. All right. That's no mental illness. They're unarmed. All right. 3 people. 992 total for the year 2018. 3 of them fit this description, with the media try to make it seem like it's an epidemic. They're killing all our black boys. They're killing all our black men unjustly. We cry for justice. We want justice. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. But where's the injustice? Where's the epidemic? We just saw one where there was a child, 17 years old. Even though he may have been involved in a crime, he was still shot unjustly, and justice was served. Justice was served for that individual, for his family. Praise God. But where's the epidemic? Where is the target? We just saw there's more white men who fit this description outside of the 18 to 29. More white men. As a matter of fact, if we were just to do 8 whites, 18 to 29 was only 2, just 2 from this age range. All right, but this is total for the blacks, total, not from 18 and up, but this is total, these three. But whites, you had 10. Yep. So between whites and blacks, you had what, 10 and 3? So what you had, what's that, 30% out of the two? A higher percentage of whites being killed. And we saw in the beginning, 450, at least 450 whites were killed in 2018, right? Compared to the 229 total blacks. That's justified, questionable, and unjustified. I mean, you put all that in there, or accidental. And out of these three that we saw, one was an accident. The officer did not intend to shoot him, intended to shoot the suspect. It went in and out of the suspect into him as a bystander, killed him. Unfortunate, but that was an accident. Wasn't the intended target. The second one, questionable, very questionable. The third one, definitely justified. He was unarmed, but he was assaulting a police officer, beating him down. And say he didn't suffer any significant injuries, but don't mean he wasn't getting injured. So yeah, like this is interesting. The stats don't lie, and you have to, and just like we did here, you look at them case by case basis. You know what I'm saying? This website is available to anyone who wants to take a look at it. All you got to put up, like I did earlier, police killings in 2018. Go to the Washington Post, and they're all there. Every case. All 992 cases are there for you to pull up the resource, pull up the news article so you can read up on yourselves. You can do that. All right, and I encourage you to. The interesting is quite interesting. The information is quite interesting. So I'll say that much. So anyway, thank you for coming on with me live. This was like I said, it was an impromptu live stream. I didn't intend to go live. It was just something I thought about. I wanted to do, and I wanted to go ahead and do it before I forget. And then another year done passed away, and I didn't do it. So here we are. And so I'm hoping this is helpful for you. Remember, this world is full of errors, but the only thing the doctor prescribes is truth, even in statistics. Grace and peace.